Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the collaboration with Concepts Kyrie 5 Ikhet. Alright guys, before we dive into the review, I do want to make an apology for not getting this video out a little bit quicker. I could have gotten this video out probably sometime last week because that's when they came in, but I decided to hold off because I actually wanted to try it on, see how it fit, and see how it feels so I can actually give you guys a full-scale review of the shoe. I've never owned a pair of Kyries in my life, so I've never had a Kyrie 3, 4, 1, 2. I've only had this pair of Kyries right here. We're going to take a look at them in just a second. But first, let's start out with the box. So the box that the shoes come in, I believe this is just a normal Kyrie 5 box. It's just all gray. It's pretty bland. I mean, you got this logo here on the front. You can see there. And this is an Egyptian styled shoe, but I believe that this is the box for all Kyrie 5s. Now, if you ordered this on Concepts.com, it dropped, I believe, actually, it dropped on Christmas Day at the stadium. Boston had a game with Philadelphia, and at Boston Stadium, in their pro shop there, if you went to the store, they supposedly were giving away the shoes in there. They weren't giving them away, you had to pay, but they came in a special box. It was like a really interesting Galaxy box. I'll show a picture of it for you guys so you can see. And this was really cool, and this was the type of box that you were supposed to get with these. I wound up not getting those because I don't live in Boston, so I couldn't get up there to actually, secure a pair. They were also on Concept's website, but that was on December 26th. That's actually my birthday, so I was not home, and I just didn't have the time to do it. So I went on Nike the next morning, on the 27th, I believe it was, and I tried to make the purchase on there. I actually didn't expect it to go through, but I actually wound up securing one. So let's open up the box and let's take a look at what we got here. So here it is inside, just plain white paper, nothing crazy. I don't know if the Galaxy one came with any special paper. I'll have to take a look. But this paper is just bland, nothing to it. And here's the shoe right here. I'm going to take both out because they both have some minor differences to them. So, alright guys, so here they are. Kyrie 5 Ikhets. I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's I-K-H-E-T, I believe. Ikhet. It's a really weird name. I might be pronouncing it wrong. I'm not sure. But I just consider it the collaboration with Concepts Kyrie 5s. Here they are, guys. As you can see, pretty interesting color scheme, and they definitely went with like a desert type theme to it. And I'm going to say it one more time. This is the Nike version of it. The shoe itself is identical. So the shoe from Concepts.com and from the Boston Stadium and the Nike ones are identical. The only difference between them is actually just the box. So the shoes themselves are no different. It's very similar. It's like the LeBron 11 forging irons, if you guys remember those. They were released in like a special bag. It was like a bag case. It was very weird, but it was like a stand type bag. It was a soft cloth case, and then it was like a piece of felt. It's hard to describe. I'll have to show you guys a picture, and the shoes were like kind of held up. There was that version that came with that box, but then you can get them in the normal LeBron box, and they were much cheaper, which was weird how one forging iron was worth a lot of money, one wasn't. As for these really don't go for too much over retail price. Retail was $140, and you can get a pair of these for, I believe, like $180. The Nike version. It cost you a little bit more, maybe an extra $50 for the Concepts version, but I mean, we're talking $50 over a box. So pretty cool to see like how valuable the boxes can be. Alright, now let's actually dive into the shoe. So the color, as I stated earlier, it's like a sand type color. The lighting that I have right now, my lighting sucks and I have to apologize for it, but it's kind of like a gray tint to it. Let me try and put a light over it so you guys might be able to see a little better. Yeah, so it's like this sand tone. It looks like it's giving off like a greenish type hue as well to it, but it is sand colored. I mean, that's the way I would describe it. It's like a desert sand. Yeah, it's like a desert sand. You got like this golden swoosh. It's between like a gold, I would say it's more of like a brass color. It's not gold. Gold is a lot brighter, shinier. This is more like a brass. It's between a brass and a bronze tone to it, and it has this bevel to it, like a bevel into it, like a jewel type look. And I'll zoom in so you guys can see that. So yeah, you guys can see it's got like this beveled design here, and then a change of material on the back. Very similar color to this. It's a little bit darker, so it's all sand tones. I would say I would just describe them all as sand tones. This is a little bit of a different material. Kind of feels like a satin, but laced over a harder material in the back. And this is like a stitched canvasy type material. Now as for the rest of the side of the shoe, it has like this wing design. All the Kyrie 5s that I've seen so far have this. So this isn't exclusive to this shoe, this like wing design. It does have some gold hints on the side, or that brass color. We'll just consider it gold for the video purpose, but as I was describing it, it is more of like a brass tone. Then we get some more of these tan sand-like colored flywire. That's what they used to call this. I'm not sure if Nike had changed the name, but back in the day this was considered flywire. And it is holding the laces down here on the side of the shoe. Let me see if it's on the... And yeah. Also got that flywire here for the lace hoops as well that comes through. And that is on that side too. Alright, now let's take a look at the outsole of the shoe. Pretty cool. It's got a lavender colored purple here, so it's like a lavender tint, and then it also has this darker purple here, and I describe this as like a purple tie-dye because it just, depending on the way the light hits it, it looks different. So like you'll have like different shades of purple, like lighter and dark, that go throughout it. Very interesting. I'll show you guys the actual bottom right here, and this is, the bottom is the same as this tone here. And if you could see it there, you could see how like there's, depending on how the light hits it, there's like darker regions and then there's the lighter regions, and it doesn't have glitter in there, but it looks like it kind of does just from the way it glistens a little bit from the way the light hits it. You can see it's pretty interesting the way that looks. You got the eye right there, which I believe is one of Kyrie's tattoos, and that right there is the Kyrie logo. So there you go. Very interesting traction bed too. The traction felt pretty good when wearing them. Didn't play in them or anything, but when I had them on, the traction felt pretty good, and it is like an ice type material. It's rubberized, very similar to an icy sole, just completely dyed purple. So I wouldn't be concerned at all with any oxidation. It should be perfectly fine. Those soles should stay pretty well. So as I said earlier, the color scheme on these shoes is very interesting. You could see how it had the tan. We showed the lavender on the bottom, and now I'm going to show you guys a hint of red that they threw on the shoe, right on the tongue. Very strange that they did this, but it complements the shoe very nicely. Color scheme on these is, in my opinion, really nice. Let's take a look at the tongues here. You got the Kyrie logo here on this tongue, and on this tongue it actually says Concepts, but kind of abbreviated, so it's a CNCPTS. So that is Concepts written there. Right here, the Kyrie logo, and on this one you have a C for Concepts, if you can see it. So pretty interesting the way they did it. They did Kyrie on the tongue, Concepts here, Concepts on the tongue, Kyrie here. So they switched it up a bit. We can take a look into the laces. They're just a tan color, same exact color as this here. So if not, maybe it's off a tiny bit of a hue. I mean, but it's all sand tone. They look really nice, and just your standard normal lace that you'd have. Typical Nike shoe laces you have on there. Moving on to the wing design that we talked about earlier, the material that's on there. Now moving on to this wing design that we talked about earlier, I want to just talk about the pattern here. Basically this is just a design for the shoe, and they have the flywire coming up here. Not sure if this fastens down more. I guess the tighter you make the shoe, the more this will fasten, and it gives you better lockdown for performance. But this is like a suede type pad. It's like a suede type material, very strange. I don't know what made them go with this material. It does look really interesting because it gives it an organic look to it. I do like it, but it looks kind of like cardboard too at the same time. It's interesting, and it really makes the shoe look better, and actually gives it a sand-like tone because it actually looks like it could be like a sandpaper, but it's actually very soft, like a suede. That's for the brush and material of it, but it's actually pretty hard. Yeah. This itself is hard. The material is soft, brush-wise. So, like a suede, maybe like a nubuck. Interesting design. It complements the shoe well, but weird material. As for the toe box, nothing much still with this stitched upper canvas-like feel to it, and then you have the rubberized tape here. I call it like a rubberized tape. It's on most shoes. It helps hold it together so it doesn't rip up in the front. It just keeps the shoe more secured down, and better long lastivity for performance. All right, now for the inside of the shoe, nothing too crazy. Just says Kyrie, and it just has Kyrie's signature and number 11. That's about it. So you don't get anything interesting or cool for having the concept model. Alright guys, so let's take a look at what a lot of people seem to say is their favorite part of the shoe. This is the back. You just got two differences between the shoes. The right shoe has a V on it for Kyrie 5, and the left shoe has the I logo, which I believe is a tattoo that Kyrie has. Both shoes have the 5 here and here. It's Roman numeral 4-5 to represent the Kyrie 5, of course. But anyway, interesting the way they put them on there. It is kind of like, I guess it's just a plastic. It shouldn't fall off or anything. It seems the quality on it is pretty well. The quality overall on the whole shoe, it feels like it'll last. It feels pretty good. Kind of reminds me a little bit though like the KD4. When you come up towards the tongue region up here, it just right over here, it just, I don't know, it feels cheaply made. The whole shoe, I guess as a whole, feels cheaply made. Very well constructed, I have to say. I don't think it's gonna fall apart or anything like that, but I know it's hard to, I know it's hard to kind of understand what I'm saying because I'm kind of describing it as good quality, but at the same time cheaply made. So I feel like the materials are all cheapy. It feels very light, like it was made out of the cheapest things they could possibly throw together. But as a whole, it doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart, and it feels like it's a pretty sturdy shoe. But I don't know, $140 is actually a pretty cheap price point for a Nike shoe nowadays, especially a basketball shoe for a big name like Kyrie Irving. And yeah, just it reminds me of the KD4, cheaply made but still good quality and still a great shoe for basketball use or even lifestyle wear. I'm going to show you guys one last thing. I don't really even know if this is relevant. There's just another swoosh on the inside of the shoe here. It's just kind of heat pressed. I don't know how you would say it. It's like just a heat decal pressed on the other side of the canvas. So there's nothing added, nothing to come off. I mean, it's just like a material coloration. Just like material coloration. And there's another interesting thing to point out. Right here, when I got the shoe, it had a lot of midsole creasing. And this is what you get usually when someone wears your shoes. But in this instance, I just unboxed them straight from Nike. I was kind of annoyed with this because personally, that's the only thing that looks really bad on some shoes. When they have that type of midsole, you get that terrible midsole crease, and it looks sloppy. It looks, I don't know, to me, I hate that, but that's just what you're gonna get with Nike, and that's what you're gonna get when you wear your shoes. I know with Adidas shoes, when that happens, a lot of people have just been fixing it with a hairdryer, but I know that on some Nike shoes, enough heel just completely sole separate it, and I don't think I'm gonna risk that. They are still pretty much fairly unworn. I did try them on, and I did wear them around for a little bit, but not for a long period of time. Not enough to cause any of that. And I am 100% certain that it was like this when they came out of the box. Because that was the first thing I said when I took them out. Alright guys, so that's pretty much going to conclude the review for these shoes. There's not really much else to say. The only thing I'm going to add is, how they fit and what size to go. I'm a size 10. That's usually what I go with on everything. This, in my instance though, had no room whatsoever when I put it on, so it fits, but it's snug. And sometimes I do like a little bit of extra room, and I'm only talking like maybe a finger space of room in my shoe, and that's usually what the 10 gives me. And I've always been comfortable with that on my Nikes, but in this case, I don't know. I think 10.5 would have probably been better. So if you like your shoe with a little bit of room, get a half a size up for the Kyrie 5. If you like a snug fit, go true to size. Definitely don't go half a size down. I think that they'll just bother you and they'll be uncomfortable, because with my Adidas shoes, a lot of them I've been doing half a size down on, except for the Yeezy V2s. And, I've been liking that 9.5, and I almost went with a 9.5 on these, and I'm very happy that I chose a 10, because now I can at least wear them without pain. But, yeah, 10.5 would have probably been best. So try half a size up. And then one other issue that I did have with this shoe was the laces. They just didn't fit right when I put them on. Like, the laces on these were too short. Like, you could see how short this is here. I couldn't even get it into this factory lace like design here. I couldn't even factory lace it while my foot was in it. I could barely even fit my foot into the shoe without almost crushing the entire back. So I had to be very careful with it. I had to really try and loosen it up. This is a pain to loosen here. So they were difficult to put on. And I had no laces left by the time I finally got it on and tightened it up. And it was just getting to the point of being too tight to where I can get any more laces to come out. So I'm hoping in the future to get a video on how to lace your Kyrie 5s, just so maybe we can get some type of loose design to it to where we don't have to tie them. But I mean, it's a basketball shoe, so I find it kind of weird that I could not tie it. But anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. I really hope you guys liked this video. If you have any other questions, concerns about the shoe, just let me know. I'd be happy to answer it. You can leave a comment on the video. If I'm not replying to that, I probably just aren't getting the notifications. So you can follow me on Instagram. It's at ZACVAL26. Just give me a follow on there. Send me a DM, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys have regarding any Kyrie 5 or any sneaker questions that you have right now. I'd be able to help you out if I know it. Well, thanks a lot for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.